let's start with tonight's game with the over-under just being 38.5 when Pittsburgh travels to Cleveland. Do we expect this to be a low-scoring affair?
Stephen A's beloved Pittsburgh Steelers and that woeful offense. The good news about sports betting is that you can find ways to make money at the expense of your team if you can spot a weakness. And that's why we're going to bet on a low-scoring game by going under 38.5 points. First thing you need to do is look at the weather report tonight for Cleveland. Winds expected to be in excess of about 20 miles an hour, which can really affect the passing game. That's number one. Number two, the Pittsburgh Steelers this season have been dreadful on offense under that man, Mitchell Trubisky. 30th in yards per play. They are stagnant trying to move the ball up and down the field. Now, they're taking on a Cleveland team that wants to run the ball, okay? They want to run the ball. Jacoby Brissett's banged up. You've got Jack Conklin, one of the best run blockers in the NFL, coming back for this game tonight. I think they control the game on the ground. Low-scoring game, under 38.5.
He's right. I can't refute him there. As awful as this offense is, combined with Cleveland's desire to run the football, I'm a flow with Joe on this one. I think he's right about that.
Okay, all right.
We agree there.
So you guys agree on that one.
Yeah.
Sunday Night Football features San Francisco as a 1.5-point road favorite in Denver. What is the play there, Joe?
I'm going to play the 49ers minus the 1.5. Now, the easy, simplistic analysis would be to say that Jimmy Garoppolo is an upgrade over Trey Lance. And at this stage, yeah, he is. But the reality is this is a bet against Denver Broncos head coach Nathaniel Hackett, who's been, look, it's only 2 games, but he's been absolutely dreadful. This is a sloppy football team. Number 1 in the NFL in false start penalties. Number 1 in the NFL in delay of game penalties. They're struggling to get the play into Russell Wilson. All right, that might work against a team like Houston, who they barely beat. It's not going to work against a well-balanced team like San Francisco. Lay the 1.5 points.
I'm going to disagree with you on this one. I don't think you're wrong about what you said about Nathaniel Hackett. I agree with you. He's been god-awful. He's been simply clueless over the first 2 games. It actually looks like a bad hire, to be honest with you. He looks completely in over his head. That doesn't mean he can't change the error of his ways. And here's how he can do it, Joe. I'm going to listen to Russell Wilson. Very, very simple. I'm not gonna make this complicated. Russ, what should I do? That's where I think his next. That's what I think his fallback plan is. Joe Fortenbaugh. He's gonna listen to Russell Wilson, and as a result, he ain't gonna make the foolish mistakes that he's made.
Right.
I'm gonna go with Denver in this one.
Okay, let's go to a big one between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. The over/under is at 41.5. What do you like, Joe?
You know, it's funny. We said the same thing about Russell Wilson in Seattle. They should just let him cook. The same thing is now happening in Denver, but that's an excellent point. Tampa Bay, Green Bay, I'm going to play under 41.5 points. This is dipped below the key number of 42, so it's not going to be as big of a bet. But Green Bay showed us last week who they want to be this season. They want to run the ball more with that 2-headed beast that they've got in the backfield. This year, through 2 games, they're already averaging 28 rushing attempts per game, which is up from last season. Now, you can say, well, they were beating the Bears. They were running the ball late. That skews what they're trying to do in terms of the pass-run ratio. But week 1, they were getting blown out by Minnesota, and they were throwing it late. So it all averages out in the end. They're also very slow getting up to the line of scrimmage and snapping the ball, which is great for an under. Tampa brings an elite defense to the table, but they got problems on the O-line. They got problems at wide receiver. Mike Evans is suspended for this game. I think they stall out on offense as well. Under 41.5 is the play.
Damn, we agree again. We agree again.
Wow.
I think Joe's been checking in. He said to Stephen A. Stephen A's going to like this. Stephen A's going to agree with me. Listen, he's absolutely right because this is going to be a defensive battle. We look at Green Bay's defense. They're supposed to be better than what they've looked at least in the first game this year. Obviously, we look at Tampa Bay. We see how elite their defense appears to be. Even with Todd Bowles as the head coach instead of the defensive coordinator, his impact is still resonating with this franchise. And the fact is they're going into the game knowing that defense is going to have to win it for them because not only do you have problems in your offensive line, but with Mike Evans being suspended and Chris Godwin being out, the fact of the matter is, as a defense, you got to step it up and you got to buy Tom Brady some time. Now, we know he's stressed. We know he's been going through some things. Okay, you see what I'm saying? So we got to be sensitive to that with Tom Brady. It's going to take him a few weeks to get those doldrums out right now. He looks like he's lost too much damn weight, Joe. I think all of those things play a role. I don't think the offense is going to be potent enough. Green Bay's offense clearly is not going to be potent against Tampa Bay. I'm going to take the under with the 41.5. He's right.
Okay. Lastly, Buffalo is a 6-point road favorite at Miami on Sunday. What are you going with on that one, Joe?
I'm going to play the Bills here, but this is going to be a smaller wager, okay? We know what Buffalo's about. I want to look at Miami. Big story last week. Fantastic comeback against Baltimore. That's the story on the front page. Go inside the box score. The Miami defense gave up 8.8 yards per play to the Baltimore Ravens. 8.8. You only need 10 yards to get a first down. That was practically every play. The team that led that stat last year for the season averaged just 6.1. That's how bad Miami's defense was in that game. You don't think Josh Allen and the Bills, who have already hung 72 points this season, are going to put up a big number against Miami? The only reason I say it's a small bet, Buffalo just played on Monday night. It's a short week. This is a road game, and that Miami offense has looked explosive. But it was in one quarter against the Ravens. They weren't very explosive against the Patriots when they were only hanging 14 points offensively. So we'll lay the 6 with Buffalo, but we will do it cautiously.
I'm going against that. I disagree with you there because I think the thing that you're missing, you didn't bring it up anyway because you usually got all your points in order. The bottom line is you didn't bring up how Buffalo is compromised a little bit with some of the injuries that they've had on the defensive side of the ball. And I think as a result, Miami's offense is going to be just as potent this week as they were in the fourth quarter last week. I think they're going to feed off of that momentum because of the reasons that you articulated, particularly being on their home turf, knowing that Buffalo will come in to romp them and blow them right out of the building. Let's not forget the Stephon Diggs, Tyreek Hill factor. Both of them are trying to show the world they're the best in the world right now. Devontae Adams would be in the mix if Derek Carr helped them out a little bit better. But the bottom line is right now, you got Diggs, you got Tyreek Hill, you're the AFC East. You know it's about y'all because the damn sure ain't about the Patriots and the Jets. And you're trying to go at it. You're going to look to feed off of that momentum last week in the fourth quarter. Buffalo's going to continue to roll, but they got a short week to deal with, plus the road, even though the road in Miami is not a big deal. Let's watch where they're staying, too, because secret here, there are distractions near South Beach. That could potentially affect your play the next day.
Christine,
I think all
Christine,
that
do me a favor. Send this clip to Dan Orlovsky. Let him know. Let Dan Orlovsky know that Stephen A is on tour this weekend.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.